We'll go into a lot more detail about how to use these models in future videos, but let's conclude by talking a little bit about what AIs are good and bad at. And there's a lot of subtlety here, but it can be helpful to think of the AI as being like working with a human, maybe an intern or a TA, something we'll talk about more. Because they've been trained on human knowledge, they don't work the way you would expect a computer to work. They work more the way you'd expect a human to work. So they make mistakes like humans, they're good at human tasks, you interact with them like people a lot. They're not sentient, they're not people, but they can feel like people when you work with them, and that can be a useful analogy to work with. So what AIs are good at is really human stuff. They're really good at writing and analysis, they're good at creative tasks, creating images. They're great at coding and working with data. They're really good at summarizing results. And they're also really good if you give them clear instructions. So because these are general purpose technologies that can do so many different things, you can make these foundational models into teachers, into office assistants, into editors by giving them the right instructions. And again, we'll talk about how to prompt them to do that in the future. And they're also really good where AI has the tools to accomplish something. So you have to really understand what tools are available to an AI. What do I mean by that? Well, until very recently, there was no way to get ChatGPT to have access to the internet. So if you asked it for any information since 2021, when it was trained, it would give you the wrong answers or make up answers. Today, there are starting to be internet connections for those tools, so they'll be able to get more recent information. Similarly, Bing has always been connected to the internet. It's much better when it integrates searches, as is Bard. And Bing right now allows you to create images directly from the AI itself. So if you ask it to do that, it will do a good job at that. So you have to understand what tools and capabilities are available to each AI and then take advantage of that. Each of them has a very different personality, a little bit different approach, and you have to kind of learn those approaches just like you would learn to work with different humans. But there are some downsides as well as upsides.
The first downside is that the AI can make stuff up. It can hallucinate, meaning that it can give you plausible responses that sound convincing, but because there's no there and it doesn't know what it's saying, it can pull out information that is wrong or subtly wrong, and it's really important for you as a user to evaluate and critically evaluate all of the output that it's giving you and make your own decisions. The second thing that's wrong is that the AI prompt doesn't give you the same output all the time. It can change outputs on any given day, and because these systems are changing so quickly, they can be radically different as well.
And the third point is sort of a summary of everything we've been talking about. So you have to walk this fine line between the AI being incredibly capable, but also not being magical. So it can't do everything, and it doesn't do everything equally well. If you tell it that it is Warren Buffett, it's not going to give you amazing investment advice, although it might look like it's giving you amazing investment advice. If you tell it it's Marvin Gaye, it may not be able to write a song at the ability of Marvin Gaye. If you tell it to be Steve Jobs and critique your business plan, it's not really invoking Steve Jobs. So you have to be aware of the fact that it's fooling you to some extent, that it's actually creating great content, but some of it is not as great as you think. And you have to be very aware of the strengths and weaknesses, which is why our big advice is use AI. You need to use these systems enough to understand how they work, and where they don't work. So we're going to talk to you in just a bit about some of the techniques you can use to prompt AI to do things, but you should really need to practice. Only by using enough hours can you really start to understand what they're good at, what they're bad at, and where you might be deceived.
As Ethan just said, in our next video, we're going to talk about prompting. How do you get the AI to do what you'd like it to do?